Hey YouTube, thought I'd do a video for my beardies. You know, a lot of people have beardies, but people take care of them differently. I like my setups, that's why I wanted to show them off. What's cool is I have three bearded dragons, one adult male here, gray male. I've had him, he was like my first reptile, I've had him for a few years now. The other one, I did not do his tail. For future reference, I bought him like that. He's just really pretty, so I get to pass him up. And one female that I recently purchased from a friend. But anyways, they're in 40 gallons each, both in 40 gallons. But I had this made. It's a cabinet. It's alright, I guess. But what it is, I stacked them so that way he can't see him. Because when they do, you know, have you ever seen two males? Even a male and a female, 99% of the time does not work out. Luckily, the only reason why I bought this female is because she can handle herself, and of course I keep an eye on her, and if anything happens, and I feed them in separate containers because she actually gets more food than he does, and that's the only reason why. It's because she's more dominant than him. But this is one of my favorites, just because his personality is freaking awesome. I've had him for about 2 years. Here we go. Okay, so for my beardies, you'll notice that there's no water bottles in any of either of my cages for both of these beardies. For most experienced beardie owners, they don't do that either, as far as I've seen, because of the fact that they just poop in it and they don't drink sitting water most of the time. So what I do is throughout the week, I spray them. Got a water bottle from Walmart, like $1, I think. I got like 3 of these around my room, and I spray their heads and their bodies at least twice a day. You know, come up behind them and just, you know, spray their head, and they'll drink it mostly off of their heads, and they like it that way. And I also give them weekly baths in the sink, and I'll run just the tip of their nose through the sink, and I've found that's the best way to give them water throughout the week, because they typically will just, you know, drink and drink and drink from that. But I bought this female because she's pretty. She's got some really cool reds on her when she's fired up, and she eats more than both of my males. So the cool thing about my tanks is this is pool sand. It's filtered pool sand, and it's really fine, as you can see. And I get 50 pounds of this stuff for like $8 where I live in Houston. At any pool supply store, they sell pool filter sand, and it works for fish tanks too. But it's really good sand, and what I like about it is, you know, you're not supposed to put baby beardies on sand because it can get in their eye, for one. That's always a risk. And compaction, but this is so fine for adults. Like, if you swallowed this, you'd be able to pass it because it's very, very fine. He has green leaves in here because he doesn't like to eat the greens. If I put either of the two from the bottom in there, they eat the greens. You can see I usually give them strawberries, and lettuce isn't really nutritional as far as I've read. Mustard greens and stuff like that. Here's one of my favorites, or this is Buddy. Yeah, I know, silly name. But he's really cool, but he's more like a... people call him a Nazi because he's very stiff, and yeah, he's pretty funny. Not as funny as Rex. Bearded dragons are like one of the best starter pets. The only thing with them is, you know, it's expensive. You have your heat lamp. Keep the hot spot actually about 110. See, my room is already 83 degrees and 47% humidity in the middle of winter. Well, it's winter in Texas, so whatever you want to call it. But if I put that thermometer up there, it's going to hit about 110 to 113. See the poop? I didn't see that. So what I do is I just, you know, I clean the tanks every month, a month and a half, but I also spot clean this stuff a lot. Just get a cup. Beta cup's a good one. Scoop it out and throw it out, and that keeps the smell down in my room since I do have a lot of reptiles. Simple setup though, you know, just fake stuff. Just, you know, beardies, they'll eat just about anything you put in their cage that they can. As you can see, the old beardies took some bites out of those plants. But bearded dragons are a very rewarding pet, especially for a beginner who's going into who wants a reptile or something like that. Babies usually not so much. I usually tell the younger kids to get juveniles and stuff like that. But they're very personable. Each one of my beardies has a different personality. Like, he's very stiff and kind of like a teenager in a way. And this one here, he's kind of like an old man, but he's very dominant. does not care. He likes to hate everything. Yeah, you see, he likes to head bob at anything I do. I mean, he loves me, but he hates me. Her, and if I touch her, he kind of gets mad, but it's okay. She always thinks I'm feeding her. I've only had her for about a month. But this one, I bought these decorations at a show. They're pretty easy to make. It's just styrofoam coloring and something else. I looked it up. It's not really that hard to make, but I haven't had the time. A couple fake decorations. They used to ingest anything, so their tank set's pretty cool. That's one of my Snickers I made. It's pretty funny. This cabinet's pretty cool though. You know, it's got a lot of room at the bottom where I have lots of bedding and net and sifter, moss, and stuff like that, etc., etc. But yeah, Bearded Dragon setup's pretty simple. You know, 10.0 UVB on one side, heat lamp on one side. At night, it does not get that cold in my room. It doesn't go past the 70s, so they're okay until I wake up. I've never had a problem. I've had these two here for close to 3 years each, I think. I'm trying to remember, but yeah. So it's pretty much like how to take care of a beardie. You know, cricket's main diet. Superworms as a treat because it is high in fat. I do it maybe once a week. A whole meal of superworms. They get roaches when I can get them. Dubia roaches or Dubai roaches, whatever you want to call it. And she'll eat a pinky every now and then. They'll eat live, but they won't eat frozen. And she'll eat frozen pinkies, which I don't give too much because it's very high in protein. Crickets is their main diet. Crickets and roaches. And mustard greens and strawberries. They like strawberries. It's the color. And he tries to eat popcorn. Every time I have popcorn in the room, he tries to eat it. Don't know. But, so there's Bearded Dragons, my two beardies. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or anything, let me know and I'll try and answer them.